Good morning, children. Welcome back with the next new session. So, in this session, we are going to learn a new topic in the history again. So, today's lesson is lesson number 8, Kingdoms and Empires. Kingdoms and Empires. Okay, before going into the lesson, let me just help you to recall the previous lesson about the emergence of kingdoms and republics lesson. We have learned that there are 16 Mahajanapadas in India, isn't it? There are 16 Mahajanapadas in India. That too before the division of India and Pakistan. There were 16 Mahajanapadas. Among them, Magda was one of the powerful kingdom. Okay, and this kingdom of Magda was ruled by the people like Bimbisara, Ajatasattu, and Mahapadmananda. Isn't it? Do you remember these names, children? So, similar, we are going to talk about the same thing in this lesson also. So, the lesson we are going to discuss today is kingdoms and republics. Okay, so firstly, kingdoms and republics, these are divided into first three dynasties. Okay, these are divided into firstly in three dynasties. First one, Mauryan dynasty. Okay, Mauryan dynasty. Second one, Gupta dynasty. And finally, some South Indian dynasties. South Indian dynasties. Okay, so South Indian dynasties. So the time period of Mauryan dynasty is 322 to 187 BCE. Okay, 322 to 187 BCE. Whereas the time period of Gautam Gupta dynasty is 319 to 543 BCE. Okay, so 322 to 187 BCE, 319 to 543 BCE is of Mukta dynasty. So again, these South Indian dynasties are again divided into some kingdoms known as Satavahana, okay, Ikshvakas, Satavahana, Ikshvaka, Pallava, and finally the Chalukyas. I'll just write it down. Okay, Chalukyas, Kyas, Chalukyas. Okay, so the South Indian dynasties we have in the South India, we have Satavahanas, we have Ikshvakas, we have Pallavas, and we have Chalukyas. Okay, so this is the entire theme that we are going to discuss in detail in this lesson. Okay, the lesson is kingdoms and empires. So in this lesson we are going to highlight more on the dynasties, that is Mauryan dynasty, Gupta dynasty, South Indian dynasties. In the Mauryan dynasties, the time period is 322 to 187 BCE. Gupta dynasty, it is the time period is 319 to 543 BCE, and South Indian dynasties are again divided into Satavahana, Ikshvaka, Pallava, and Chalukyas. So today we are going to talk purely about Mauryan dynasty. So time period is 322 to 187 BCE. You know what? Mauryan dynasty is ruled by the famous person known as Maurya Chandragupta. Yes, you might be confused that why in the previous lesson it was told that Mahapadmananda, Bimbisara, the Ajatasattu were the people who were the rulers of Magadha. But what happened later on is, so Magadha kingdom was later on, it was defeated by the people known as Mauryan. Okay, so the kingdom is, the dynasty is known as Mauryan dynasty. So they have defeated the people of Magadha, and they have captured the kingdom of Magadha kingdom, and they have settled there. Now they are the new kings now. So with whose help, they have taken the help of the Kautilya. So they have taken the help of Kautilya. So Kautilya has helped Chandragupta Maurya. Chandragupta Maurya is the famous king from the Mauryan dynasty. He was the famous king from the Mauryan dynasty. He has taken help from Kautilya, and finally he has replaced the person known as Mahapadmananda, who was once a king of Magadha kingdom. Okay, so what happened is, they started, that means the Mauryan dynasty have started their journey from the north of India. So they have started the journey from north of India, and their place is in the Pataliputra. Their place is in the Pataliputra. So Pataliputra is a place where this Mauryan dynasty's real kingdom was. Okay, now in this Pataliputra, so in this Mauryan dynasty, so there are some more famous persons. Okay, so what happened is, as Chandragupta Maurya was one of the famous ruler, so after Chandragupta Maurya, the person known as after Chandragupta Maurya, the famous person Bindusara. So after Chandragupta, the famous person Bindusara, what happened is, he has given the kingdom of Mauryan with the he wanted the, he has given his Bindusara's son was Ashoka. Okay, after Chandragupta Maurya, Bindusara's son was Ashoka. So Ashoka wanted the place of Kalinga. So Ashoka wanted the place of Kalinga. Now where is Kalinga? Kalinga is towards the east coast of India. Kalinga is towards the east coast of India. So what happened is, this Bindusara, not Bimbisara, okay, Bindusara. So Bindusara and his son Ashoka wanted to become the king of the Magadha now, because Chandragupta Maurya is also replaced now. Now it is been occupied by the person known as Bindusara. So Bindusara and his son Ashoka are the new kings for the Magadha kingdom. Now I'll show you where it is. See children, here is Patliputra. See, here is Patliputra, and the Kalinga is towards the east coast. That means this is the east direction, isn't it? So this line is known as coastal line. So this is the place where Kalinga is there. So this is the east coast. Why am I showing Kalinga is, the person known as Ashoka wanted to occupy the places of Kalinga. So how can he occupy? Either he has to defeat the king, that means kill the king and occupy and expand his kingdom, isn't it? So what happened is, same thing Ashoka has also done. So in order to get the kingdom of Kalinga, he wanted to have a war with the people of Kalinga there. So many attempts were made. So Bindusara has also made a lot of attempts, but he could not be successful. So but Ashoka has finally made out. So what he has done is, he has defeated a war against the people of Kalinga, and finally he has defeated the king of Kalinga, and finally he has occupied the kingdom of Kalinga. So he was uh, very happy to earn the kingdom. That means he got the kingdom. He was the winner in the battle, and he won the kingdom. But he was very sad, because though he got the kingdom, but in the war many people have lost their life. Many people were dead in the many people, the area where the battle was all happened, no, many people's blood was all everywhere. The army people's blood was everywhere. Many people have lost their life, many people were died, many people were injured. So after seeing all these things, Ashoka's mind has all changed. Ashoka's mind has all changed. Then he understood, no, this is not the correct way of getting, though I got the kingdom, but this is, I'm not happy from inside. Because this is not the way to get the happiness. This is the path of non-violence that I've chosen. So from that day onwards, he has chosen the path of non-violence. Okay, he has chosen the path of non-violence. So the path of non-violence, and he has followed a culture in the Buddhism that is known as Dhamma. I'll just write it over here. Dhamma. Dhamma. Okay, this is one of the culture, or you can see it's a practice that is followed by the people of Buddhism. Okay, it is nothing but a word known as dharma. So dharma is also known as dhamma in, it's not Sanskrit, it is Prakrit language. Okay, so like Sanskrit, it is a Prakrit language in which dharma is known as dhamma. So he decided to follow the non-violence. So from there he decided, we should not hurt people. Okay, that means we have to show some we have to show the sympathy, or we have to have respect towards the animals, respect the elders, respect the poor people, obey or be obedient to your elders, be obedient to your parents, father and mother. Okay, be helpful to the environment. They have they have to respect even animals also, respect water, what not, everything. He has changed all his mindset, and from there onwards he decided that from today, as it was my last battle with the Kalinga, from this day I'll not have any war with any other country, like any war with any other kingdom. Whatever he has earned so far is all enough, so he's not going to earn any more. So what happened is, he wanted to serve more for his people who are in his kingdom. That means he wanted to do a lot of service for the people. What did he do? He has helped them in providing food. Okay, helped them water facilities, provided them hospital facilities, provided them road facilities. Okay, many people who have lost their lives, okay, he helped their families, as well as many people were imprisoned. That means many people were given punishments, so their families were also given some kind of help by the person of Ashoka. Okay, so even today also, the area where this Kalinga war has all happened, no, in that area as well as in his kingdom, the road was very beautiful. That means the roads were so safe to even walk, and even the road was so clean. Either sides of the road were trees were all planted beautifully. Okay, so he wanted to serve the country, he wanted to serve his people who are living in his kingdom, and he wanted to follow the religion of Dhamma, that means non-violence, the path of non-violence. So he has chosen the path of non-violence. Now, whatever he has done, it was written in the in olden days. All these things, what has happened in the history, to remember all these things, everything will be written either on the plates. Plates means nothing but some copper plates, that means copper plates. Okay, or sometimes on the walls also, you might have seen on the walls of Tirupati, or maybe some walls of, see some famous holy temples, where the name of the people, as well as who has built, who has given donations, and all will be written on the wall, isn't it? Have you seen? Isn't so all these things were also written on the walls of the temples. Okay, that so and so person, Ashoka was a famous king from the Mauryan dynasty. Okay, so he has won the battle of Kalinga. So in that war, many of people have died. So he has given the like, you can say about like matter, like inscription is nothing but the matter. So he has only given the matter to be written on the walls. He said that, I, after winning the war in the Kalinga, I am not going to war, I am not going to wage a war with any other kingdoms. I wanted to follow the path of the non-violence. I want to follow the Dhamma religion. I want to protect all the plants and animals. I want to serve the people for the country, I mean serve the people who are there in the kingdom. So he also wanted to give this same message to his next upcoming generation, that means to his son as well as to his grandson. So they also should not have any kind of a fight with the any other kingdom. So he understood, when he has seen lot of people have lost their life, some thousands and thousands of people have lost their life. After seeing this, he has changed his mindset that no, this is not the correct way. Okay, so this was one of the great decision that Ashoka has taken. So to give a lot of respect to this person Ashoka, the king, the ruler, the famous king of Ashoka, to give respect. So our government, that means Indian government, have chosen to give, like in order to give him respect, they have taken the this Ashoka symbol, that is the symbol of Ashoka Chakra. You might have seen, no, 24 spokes. That means 24 sticks will be there, no, on the Ashoka Chakra. On our Indian national flag also, in the middle with the blue in color, we have seen, no, this Ashoka Chakra. So what happened is, even they wanted to have this symbol on the flag as well as on the national emblem. So children, what is the national emblem of India? Yes, the four lion pillar in the Sarnath is our national emblem. Four lions. So three lions are only visible. The fourth lion is behind it, isn't it? Now, so I'll show you the picture and I'll show you some more things. Okay. So see children. So this is the national emblem. So it was decided that our Indian government has decided that this should be our national emblem. When it was decided on 26th of January 1950. 26th of January 1950, when we got our Republic Day. Okay, so for the first time it was decided that this was the symbol we should have as our national emblem. So there are 4 lions facing, whereas 3 lions were only visible and the fourth one is behind it. So you can see some animals are also there on the bottom, where you can see a bull as well as a horse. So there are 4 animals in this also, and there is an Ashoka chakra in between this. There is an Ashoka chakra in between this. Now there are 4 animals in this. So towards the east direction, that means towards the east of this, bottom, you will find an elephant. Okay, towards the west of this you will find an bull. Okay, east of this is elephant, west you will find the bull, on the north you will find the lion, as well as on the south you will find the horse. So these are 4 animals which are there on the bottom of the national emblem. Okay, I'll tell you one more time. Towards the east there is an animal known as elephant, towards the west there is bull, towards the north there is lion, towards the south there is animal horse. So why these animals are given in this, why they only these animals were sculpted in this, but there is an importance for that also. Okay, the elephant shows a lot of strength, so elephant was used. Okay, bull has a lot of power with it, isn't it? So a lot of power, a lot of hard work can be seen with the bull. See, even the farmers use the bulls and all on the fields, no? So has a lot of hard work, the capacity of doing a lot of hard work. So when it comes to the north, towards the north, what animal we have? We have lion. Okay, so what lions are very much brave and courage, isn't it? So what about the horse is an loyal animal. What is loyal means will never cheat, will never cheat. Okay, so loyal as well as the speed, we know how speed a horse runs, isn't it? So towards the east there is an elephant, a lot of strength. Towards the west there is an bull is an animal that does a lot of hard work. Towards the north there is an lion, so lion is courage and bravery, and towards the south there is horse which shows a lot of speed as well as loyal means which says truth. Now, so one more slogan was a main line was also followed by Ashoka is Satyameva Jayate. Satyameva Jayate. So where there is a truth, there is a victory. Where there is a truth, there is a victory. So this line was also said in the Upanishads. See children, we have learned about Upanishads also, no? So we have learned about the Vedas, we have learned about Upanishads also. So among the Upanishads, it was said that Satyameva Jayate, that means there is a truth, there is a victory in the truth. So never lie to anyone. Okay, respect your elders, obey your parents, be obedient to the people. Okay, never cheat anyone. So these are the all things that has to be followed, which are strictly followed by the person Ashoka from the Mauryan dynasty. Okay, so children, this is the inscription part. Inscription means nothing but the written part, written on the walls. I told, no, it was all written. So he wanted to write and give information to his son as well as to the grandson of him. Okay, so this was all about the lesson, the kingdoms and empires. So today we have learned particularly about the Mauryan dynasty. So that too we have learned more about Ashoka only. Now I'll just give you a quick recap of the lesson once again. So the lesson today, what we have learned is kingdoms and empires. So in this lesson, kingdoms and empires, it was divided into Mauryan dynasty, Gupta dynasty and South Indian dynasties. In South Indian dynasties, we have Satavahana, we have Ikshvakas, we have Pallava and we have Chalukyas. So in today's we have focused more on the Mauryan dynasty. The time period of Mauryan dynasty was 322 to 187 BCE. So whereas the person who has taken away the kingdom from the Mahapadmananda was Chandragupta Maurya, the famous ruler Chandragupta Maurya. With the help of Kautilya, he has taken the kingdom from him, and finally he has settled on the kingdom of Mauryan Empire. So after Chandragupta Maurya, the person known as Bindusara and his son Ashoka, they wanted to occupy the place of Kalinga. So they have waged a war with the king of Kalinga, and lot of people have died. So because a lot of people have lost their life, Ashoka felt so bad and he wanted to leave all the battles from there on from his life, and he has followed the path of non-violence. He has said that follow non-violence. Okay, follow the concept of dharma. Dhamma means nothing but following the dharma following the dharma. Okay, he has said that respect people, respect poor people, obey elders. Okay, be obedient to your father and mother. Okay, and many more he has said, respect animals, respect trees, respect plants, respect environment, respect everything. Okay, he has served a lot of he has served a lot of people in his kingdom. Okay, so to give respect, it was all his symbol of Ashoka chakra with 24 spokes was included in the national emblem. Okay, and we have discussed about the four animals, that is elephant, bull, horse and lion. So um, and finally whatever he has done in his life, it was all written on the walls. So in the walls there, it was written that please follow the concept of dharma, and his son and the grandson should not have any more wars in the future. Okay, and he has also followed satyameva jayate, that means truth is always more, truth has a victory. Okay, there is a victory is only possible with the truth. So where there is a truth, there is a victory. Okay, so I hope that you have all understood this part of lesson very well. We'll meet up in the next upcoming class with the next concept, that is of Gupta dynasties. Okay, for any more doubts and queries, please ask us immediately. We'll meet up in the next upcoming class, children. Till then, bye, have a nice day.